I turned 30 in 5 days, and we're doing a scripture a day until then. Welcome to day 40. We're in Colossians 3, verse 22, and it reads, Bond servants, obey in all things your masters, according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in sincerity of heart, fearing God. This instruction provides a framework for integrating one's work and relationships into a life of faith, emphasizing that all actions, even in servitude, should be done as a service to Christ, recognizing his ultimate authority and the accountability to him for one's motives and actions. God sees and knows all, including the heart and its motives. First and foremost, do you see that it says according to the flesh? So these are your masters that are people just like you. Because as you know, Christ is the ultimate master. And it says not as men pleasers, because you know some of us who are yes man and yes woman and do things just so that people around us can applaud. When you do this in fear of the Lord. Remember, fear is knowledge of the Lord, acknowledging him and who he is. So, bond servants were to serve for God's pleasure, not merely that of their earthly master. Who's a bond servant? This is from the Greek term doulos, meaning a person under the command or obligation of another. The word can be fairly translated as slave. Although what we know of slavery today is not what was practiced when Paul was writing this letter. In biblical times, a bond servant was a person under contract to a master, often due to poverty or debt, and was part of the master's household. It refers to a voluntary arrangement, though the bond servant lacked freedom of their master. Paul was not writing to people who were suffering the same harsh treatments indefinitely, as we have come to know here in the Western world. Yet you may well say, why is Paul addressing bondservants instead of advocating for their freedom? Well, in most districts, the bondservants, or slaves as we'd call them, were much more numerous than the free population, and they were undoubtedly numerous in the early church. The gospel has always been welcome to the poor and the oppressed, and Paul's mission was to preach the gospel, not to uproot social structures. So in the same way he addressed everyone else in the family and every other believer, he had to address them as well, because you are representing him always. Attitude under someone else. My grandmother would say, when you're on the job, do what is required of you and even go above and beyond, even when your employer is not looking, because God sees everything. Whew, day 40 and it keeps getting better. Come back tomorrow. Be blessed.